When Bob Godfrey was president, there was a committee that was established between the board and the faculty called, it's a very fancy name, called Institutional Fidelity Committee. IFC is what they call it. We're not really known for our creative naming of our committee, but part of the reason why that committee was formed was from the recognition that oftentimes institutions, whether a denomination or a group of any kind, over time tend to be unmoored from its original mission and founding goals, going back to the construction analogy in particular. And history has proven itself over and over again that over time, after multiple generations, the younger and younger, meaning not necessarily that they're younger, but newer and later generations forget some of the initial founding understanding. And oftentimes, at least for our denominations, that's associated with not only our convictions about the word, but our confessional commitments. Part of the reason I mentioned it, and I think it's true for all of us here on the stage, is the confessional commitments. And here on this campus, we sign and to submit ourselves, that is, as faculty, 6 documents. Not only the Westminster Standards, but also from the Continental Reformed, the 3 forms of unity. And some of us have grown up with at least one of those documents being part of who we are and where our background is. And catechesis is happening at every church, every institution, all the time. The question is, what is the basis for that catechesis? And we still believe that the foundational cornerstone of these things are confessional documents, which becomes our basis and our boundary. But we also, when we say confessional documents, we believe them to be simply expressions of what Scripture teaches. And so it's not one of those that's contrasted but built upon. And I do wonder if that kind of recovery, and I feel like many of the churches don't really speak to or speak about confessions. And certainly I think that's true of denominations as well. And I'm not sure how embarrassing this is for me to mention it this way. There are 180 denominations in South Korea, I found out recently. 150 of them are Presbyterian. And one historical anomaly, before you judge everyone in South Korea and the churches there, is that many of the churches did not have actually an adoption of confessional documents in the founding of their denomination. And what that means is they summarized some of the confessional documents, but they didn't actually adopt one of the confessions as part of their founding documents. And I see that happening as a regular part of how churches and denominations now see themselves. And I do wonder, not having such moorings, the anchor along the way, how that affects not just denominations as well as churches, but institutions like ours. And so we not only covet your prayers in that direction, but we have, I think, an ongoing commitment to being confessional in terms of what we believe and what we teach. And I think that's all kind of tied in together.